Now, the Zeon's arms race is getting really hectic, and the guys from Zimmad really want their product to be the one winning the war. Well, they kinda did with the Dom, but the Federation isn't backing down either, by spamming the gyms in masses, like Zerglings, the one that you see in that old game from Earth. So they gotta do something about that. The Zeon guys aren't backing down either. They got this broad-shouldered menace on their draft board. It kinda looks like a samurai with this little ponytail. So the most logical thing to do if you're from Zimmad is to make one too, and you also base its appearance from something from the old world. Maybe more western, maybe a knight, so you do that. What does a knight wield? A sword and maybe a shield. Wait, this looks more like a fencer.
With a
But
shield.
yeah, you're just really bringing a sword to a gunfight, so maybe add a little bit of missiles on the shield. Oh yeah, that looks cool as heck. What you're seeing now is Zimmad's YMS-15 Gyan, a close quarters combat mobile suit. And today, we'll be looking at its HGUC Revive kit and how does it fare a decade later. Once again, I'm referencing the magazine that my friend gave me back in high school. I'm probably gonna do this more in my other one-year war kits in the future because that's where I've seen the Gyan first. I think it was the 1981 144 kit, and at first glance it doesn't look like a knight to me but a fencer because of how it holds the sword on the promo pics, including the posing of the kit in that magazine. And the sword looks more like a rapier with the cup guard and all. I also thought everyone has a long-range weapon in this section of the magazine, but this one does not, and that detail made me think that maybe this machine is very fast and agile. It doesn't need guns. Well, it has missiles on its shield, which I realized later on. I mean, what else could it be? It looks like heads of missiles. Anyway, more years later, I finally bought its model kit, particularly the HGUC Revive. I really want to get the older version first, but I guess this'll do for now. But before we appreciate the kit, what actually is the YMS-15 Gyan? For those who don't know, the YMS-15 Gyan is a mobile suit introduced in the original Mobile Suit Gundam in 1979. The Gyan is Zimmad's late-year war response to a situation the Zeon military kinda never actually asked. Designed as a sleek high-performance rival to the Gelgoog, the Gyan's actual specific purpose is charged straight into the front lines like a space knight that it is, and force the opposing army into a melee battle with its entire arsenal practically just a beam saber and a shield crammed with needle missiles and space mines. It is said to rival the Gundam's melee combat capability, but the catch is, it is primarily a melee machine and it has to rely on heavy hitters like the Rick Dump to provide cover fire while it rushed in. But the Zeon leadership, however, in true Zeon fashion, flat out disregarded the concept of teamwork, preferring all-rounder mobile suits over coordinated unit tactics. Thus, the ultimate futuristic fencer was left out in the cold. On raw stats alone, the Gyan was actually better than the Gelgoog, thanks to fluid pulse accelerators and hyper-tuned limbs built specifically for close-quarter combat. The Gyan possessed agility and responsiveness that will technically blow most one-year war mobile suits out of the water. But Zeonic's Gelgoog won the contract anyway because it was more versatile and is an all-rounder that has overall better performance. Meanwhile, the ultra-rare Gyan, presumably only 1 to 3 were ever built, found its ultimate soulmate in Colonel Makuve, while the other 2 was converted to Gyan Eos by Cecilia Zabi. With its shiny armor and pickle hob helmet, the suit looked like a medieval knight, a vibe Makuve fully embraced by taking into battle. A giant multi-ton war machine fighting Feds like a Victorian-era fencer. Makuve planned to beat the Gundam by luring it into Texas colony. He goes toe-to-toe with the White Devil, but he ultimately fails and gets killed. The Gyan's primary weapons are of course the piercing beam saber, which I think should have been called the beam rapier, of course the missile shield containing the needle missiles, and the hide bombs. It also has the fluid pulse accelerator located on its waist for that excellent footwork. Now today, we'll be looking at its HGUC Revive kit, which was released 10 years ago and 17 years after the first HGUC release. Time does fly very fast, but anyway, 10 years ago isn't recent either, so let's see how it is. The kit has a great range of motion. It is a Revive kit after all. The head goes 360. We got some butterfly joints on the shoulder, albeit limited. The arms is attached through a ball joint. We got some nice shoulder hinge here, giving the part some dynamic range. 360s. And we have some excellent double joint on the elbows. The special manipulator for the beam saber have this extra articulation that could go as far as this. We got some ab crunch and lean back. All skirts have articulation but not all the way horizontally. Great thigh range, albeit in a limited skirt opening. Split, kick front, kick back, thigh swivel 90 degrees, and excellent double jointed knees. Also double jointed ankles and bendable toes. Against its show and official art counterparts, there's almost no color differences at all, straight out of the box, then snap fit. It's the Gyan from the show, maybe a little bit from the cockpit hatch here, which should be of lighter shade in which this sticker is provided. Still, it's almost unnoticeable. It's passable to have its initial colors as is. I know that its design is essentially very simple. It is still great that it is engineered to have less color corrections or even none at all. As for the seam lines, the placement, I could easily consider most of them as panel lines since they are engineered pretty good. I'm particularly liking the shoulders and thigh gaps here, however there are still some evident ones which may bother you, like on the forearms here and calves. The gimmicks is of course the dedicated manipulator for holding the beam rapier here, and the shield had this sliding hinge joint extensions. Weapons and accessories include of course the rapier, the shield, and again the rapier right hand. You'll have everything that is shown on the series, and the kit is pretty much complete in that sense. Priced at 1200 yen or $750 upon release back in 2016, and I got my copy for 600 pesos or just shy of $10 back in 2023. I think that's a solid price for what it comes with. It's pretty much a complete kit, but with all the given information, what is actually the pros and cons? First of all, the kit is relatively cheap. A major factor maybe is it doesn't come with too much extras, but it's pretty much a complete as is, and that's a good thing. And of course, it's a Revive kit. The articulation is pretty good. Not the best, but still pretty good. It is also sort of color accurate out of the box. There's minimal to no color correction. Panel line it a little bit and maybe a few decals, and it'll look good. Okay, as good as this kit is, it is not entirely flawless. The skirt for one is kinda limited. It doesn't go all the way up because of the obstruction on this part here, which is part of the design, and it's kind of a bummer. It hinders the maximum range of the legs. Also, I was kinda expecting for the eyes to be movable since it is a Revive kit. Also, for a few grams of plastic, I would have liked some extra open manipulators for some dynamic posing options like what you get with the Gelgoog, but I think with what you are paying, it's passable since you don't really see the Gyan without its rapier and shield in the show. Some kits are built for the crowd, but the HGUC Gyan Revive was built for it to be a unique masterpiece like its in-universe counterpart. A testament that true excellence doesn't need to conform to order. It just needs to master its craft. Well, that definitely did not work with the Xeon, but it will on the shelf you will display it in. Sleek engineering, crisp and straightforward articulation, and show accurate elegance. This kit translates this late war fencer into an absolute showstopper on the shelf. It reminds us that standing out from the mainstream isn't a flaw, but a statement. When you assemble this noble Space Knight fencer, you're honoring a legacy of bold individuality. And to me, this kit is still very much stunningly elegant. Hello friends, thank you very much if you reach it here, and we had the Revive Gyan today, which is a very elegant piece of art, not gonna lie. I am also not gonna lie that it is one of the most recognizable suits that I have seen in a very long time, apart from the primary mainstays like the Zaku and Gundam, which had like 100 variations, but the Gyan, it's only the Gyan. I mean, it does have some variations too, but I didn't know until I looked at the lore. But I think the Gyan is really unique to itself. That pickle hob shaped head is really engraved into my brain. When I see that head shape, oh, that's definitely a Gyan. It's only in my opinion though, and the Revive kit really brought out the fencer in it, especially that fencing hand accessory. Fingers crossed, if the rumored Gundam remake or remaster comes out, we might be getting some new HD kits from it, and they might include the Gyan in the roster. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Like, share, and subscribes will greatly help us grow this channel. Once again, friends, thank you very much and see you next time.